boogie jumps. Keep it up. Boogie jumps. Boogie jumps. Boogie jumps. I can run it back.
Welcome back to Running Back. This is the Bespoke Gentleman. And before we get started on today's content, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so you are notified when we come out with new content. And again, comment. We want to hear from our Running Back family so we can continue to come out with awesome content and also hear your feedback on what you would like to see on this channel. Today's video, Aaliyah. If you grew up in the 90s, you know who Aaliyah is. Even if you didn't grow up in the 90s, you have heard her songs or have heard of her. Now, she was considered the princess of R&B, but I don't want to talk about her career or anything surrounding her career. I just want to talk about this day, August 25th, 2001, 6:50 p.m., the day, the moment the world lost a star. So again, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the video.
On August the 25th, as you heard earlier, 2001, Aaliyah and 8 others died in this fiery plane crash just a minute after taking off from an airport in the Bahamas. Sadly, no one survived. Now, she'd been filming a music video just 200 miles east of Miami. A witness has since come forth claiming Aaliyah was given a pill before she got on the flight.
Okay, pause right here. This is the title. You see the title saying that she was asleep. She didn't want to get on the plane. She saw the size of the plane. She didn't want to get on the plane. She was tired, nervous, whatever. Something happened to where she was given something else. She took it voluntarily. But whatever it was, that what she was given kind of knocked her out. She was asleep. So when they were arguing with the guy about, being overweight, I want to say 900 pounds overweight, about, how he was saying they shouldn't fly, the pilot, she was asleep the whole time. And in fact, she actually had to be carried onto the plane. So when the plane went down, initially, Aaliyah wasn't even woke. She was asleep. She was asleep before she got on the plane. They carried her onto the plane, and then the crash happens. And even the pilot who was high, he had cocaine and he had alcohol in his system. And he was not supposed to be flying. He lied about his flight hours. That's another thing. Even him, with all that, said, this is not a good idea, we shouldn't fly. But because he lacked the experience and because, he shouldn't have been flying anyway, he gave in to what they wanted and tried to fly this small plane, 900 pounds overweight. And most of that weight, as you're going to see later, was in the front of the plane. And the plane did nosedive and it did crash. And just listen to what he says about all of this.
Uncovered about that allegation.
Yeah, the new book, Baby Girl, reveals some new details about the final moments before that tragic accident. And according to the author, Aaliyah was sitting in a taxi as her team and the flight crew argued nearby about whether or not to take off, and she complained of having a headache. Now, reportedly, a baggage handler nearby said that someone from her entourage gave her a pill. She took the pill, and that right after, she fell into a very deep sleep. So deep, in fact, that she was carried onto the airplane still asleep and may not have even been aware that she was on the airplane. Now, we should say we don't know what that pill was. It could have been aspirin. Maybe she was just very tired from a long video shoot. And the baggage handler did say that she took it willingly. But it does reveal some new information about those final moments.
It's just the whole process is so bizarre what she was living through. And I guess when you have that kind of fame that early, there are things that happen. Yeah. But this does not work in her favor. After the crash, investigators determined the small plane was carrying about 700 pounds over its limit. And this is important. The center of gravity was too far back in the aircraft. The pilot must have been doing some of these calculations. Why would he risk his own life? And what do we know about him?
Yeah, according to the book, the pilot did not want to make this trip. And he reportedly argued with Aaliyah's team because he thought that it was unsafe. So he did make those calculations and he did decide that it was unsafe. However, after protracted negotiation, they went through with that flight. Now, we did also learn some new things about this pilot. According to autopsy results, he had both alcohol and cocaine in his system.
The pilot
did.
Whoa.
He was not the authorized pilot for that plane, and he had just joined that company a few days prior to that flight, so he was very new with that company.
And as you can see, according to many eyewitnesses, Aaliyah was in fact asleep before and after she was carried on to the airplane. And I want to play this next clip from Damon Dash, who was actually dating Aaliyah at the time, and she was actually on her way to go see him when she got in this accident, on how he talked to her, and he told her that when they shot the video, because most of the video was shot in Miami, and most of the video was completed in Miami, but that one boat scene, which could have been shot in Miami, ended up being moved and being shot in the Bahamas. And he told Aaliyah, he said, Hype Williams, who filmed the video, and who didn't get on the plane because he stayed and left the normal time with the dancers, because they actually finished early and she left the day early. That's why she was on that plane with those few people. But he told her that Hype Williams wants to spend more money, so he's gonna make up unnecessary filming just so he can spend more money. Plus, he told her how with Big Pimpin' with Jay-Z, how he had to cut the video short because Hype Williams was spending too much money. So check out what Dame Dash had to say.
I just thought that it wasn't necessary. You know, I knew that was going to happen. And then when she actually saw the plane, she, we had the Blackberries, and she said, I don't like this plane. And I was like, well, don't get on it. And she was like, well, I got to because I got work to do. She got on the plane, and she always had a very serious fear of planes in general. So she had to overcome a fear to get on that plane on the way there. But what I was really more tight about was that I had heard that Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet, and that Hype had took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about the situation when I heard about that. So you could ask Hype about that.
That's what I said. Have you ever talked to Hype about it?
Yeah.
And how did that conversation go?
Ask him.
But I also am asking you.
Yeah, but ask him.
I feel like you had some things to say to him.
Because of my respect for Aaliyah and her family, her music it's just coming out, but everyone's very respectful of her memory. No one really speaks on it because that's the circle of people she had around her. So out of respect for her memory, I don't say a lot of things.
Tell me about that day. Where were you?
I was getting my hair cut, and I was waiting for her. So, she was trying to get back really quickly because we were trying to see each other. So she was like, I'm gonna get on the first thing smoking. And that day I waited in the house and I was getting a haircut, and when they told me that there was a crash, it was her mom that told me, and they said they didn't find all the bodies yet, so they didn't know if she was still alive. But for me, I was like, so it's a wrap. So I hadn't finished my haircut, and I took all of her clothes out of my house and everything, and I went to go see her mom because I just didn't want to be triggered.
So based on what you just heard, let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about this. Why did it happen? How did it happen? You have so many who are around the situation, who knew about the situation, even fans, the casual fan, asking and wondering, where did it go wrong? How did they allow this obvious mistake to happen and to lose a star at the peak of her prime so soon? Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you are notified when we come out with new content. This is The Bespoke Gentleman with Running Back. Peace.